All right, so today's video, we have a Plat 4 support on PlayStation 5 playing Wuyang, Ana. Keep in mind, this is the recently nerfed Wuyang. Wuyang is still strong, but keep in mind that, that 25 HP change to supports can make a huge difference for backline survivability. So, description here says, hello, I've been playing Overwatch since 2017 and love watching your videos and learning, but somehow my brain refuses to apply what I learn once I'm actually in game. I've got around 400 comp hours, most from recent seasons since I used to be terrified of queuing. No worries. And I get that, by the way, where you sit there and you learn something and then you go to try to apply it and you're like, dude, I forgot everything. Yeah, that can be a thing. I'm a support main through and through, mostly Juno, Mercy, and Kiriko, though Juno's been kind of unplayable lately, so I've been branching out. Juno's seen a little bit more viability since the ultimate charge change. We get ults quicker. That variety actually helped me climb out of gold last season after a tragic drop. I've been Plat forever and can't quite break through to diamond no matter how hard I try. Sometimes I look goofy water bending with Wuyang because it's too fun, and Ana, well, let's just say I'm trying to get better at her. I'd really love advice on how to apply what I know during games instead of just realizing everything after I die. Also, just to note, I am hard of hearing, but I promise I have headphones on. No worries. Appreciate the time and love your content. Okay, let's take a look. Kind of go from there and figure it out. I mean, Wuyang is still good after nerfs, just you might not see as much pro play time when the HP is 225. Doesn't mean you won't see it happen. That's how, a lot of backline pressure, so. Okay. I want to kind of give you an idea already here. And this is very little things, but I think it's good to point this out. You're on Wuyang, you hear your teammate battling up on high ground, you're looking up there at the HP going, I can't do anything to help. You're on Wuyang. So in that situation, one of the things you could actually do is why not launch some damage up there, right? This is a perfect opportunity to help with damage, then help with your ability to heal. So I see that right away already where you have an opportunity here to help. Again, you may not do anything up there, but Wuyang is one of the few heroes in the game that could help up there without being up there, right? So I just wanted to show that right away where you already missed an opportunity to do a little bit of poke damage. That damage can help, win that whole sequence here. So, anyway, just wanted to point that out. Okay, trying to cross over here. I want to again, and I do the same thing on Wuyang, and after I do it, I go, dude, why am I doing this? In previous spectatings, I've pointed out the importance of using these long cooldowns in the correct way. Remember, especially now with the less HP, you need to save your wave for a really good heal, or if you have a numbers advantage, right? I don't think you have a numbers advantage in this situation. When I was looking at your Orisa's HP was fine enough for me not to use it there. So you can use your wave if they're getting really low. It's just like you wasted it early and then you became susceptible to this. Again, you want me to point out some of the things that you can improve on right away. So cooldown usage is something that you want to think about in that situation rather than use it all the time. Again, it's fine. You win the team fight, all that, but I just want to show some of those moments to you. Of using that ability more as a peel and utility, or like a kind of like, oh, they're like at half HP, I want to keep this going. I think sometimes people will use it like, I'm trying to think about an example of a ability. Like you use it as like an aggressive Ana grenade, which using an aggressive Ana grenade isn't bad sometimes, but like you don't want to do it every time, right? So like here, you don't need the wave, but again, I'm only gonna point it out a couple of times of like, remember to use it as a peel rather than as like, oh, my teammates are at 95% HP, let's pop this wave. All right, anyway. Like there. You see what I mean? You're using it almost as like an aggressive Ana grenade every single team fight. Then you are using it as like a... Because it's not only is the wave a long cooldown and a good peel, but it also is good for timing when to burst heal because of, and I'll show you the effect in a second when you use it here. But outside of that, good job helping your team there. Everything was good with that. You want to do some spam damage on the corners now. I think... Okay, there you go. Now you're starting to damage. Remember, you can't really go into a mode of just like heal bot at times with Wuyang. It's more like find a damage opportunity. Like right there, by the way, that was a good example of where you could use the wave, and I want to show the effect here. So this effect right here, which I mean, I'm sure you know, but I always pointed out to even like new players or players who don't quite understand it. When you get this yellow on them, see this right here? That means your heals are increased, which is why it's also important to time this and why I'm saying like this could be a good idea. Because in this situation, your 2 teammates are in front of you, so you use your wave to kind of get that on your teammates. Somehow it misses the Orisa, but now you can help kill your teammates and you've used it effectively, right? You're not using it to just like, you know, keep your teammates at 93% HP at full HP. So, and then yeah, this will increase your healing, so you have a little bit more burst healing. Works the same way with on a grenade, and then that should be more helpful in that scenario. Anyway.
Reverse the tide.
You know, it's an interesting one. I don't think you needed the ultimate there, but I can see why you used it. Remember, with Wuyang ultimate, it's a good engagement tool at the beginning of a team fight. So when you need to think about using your ultimate, it's good to think about it like, what do we have coming up? You have a Genji blade. You have, you have a Reaper who can still use it on them. So I would like to see you save your ultimate there for a better scenario. Again, I know why you used it, but I think it would be a little bit safer to use it later on. There's the wave again. And this is what I mean by the wave. Like, you don't need the wave yet there, right? Now, there's a chance you might have had to use it a second later, but I want to get you in that habit of, like, using it in a spot that makes a little bit more sense. Like, now would be nice to have that as a self-peel tool. Exactly. So now when you have it as a self-peel tool, and you would probably try to time it between the bubbles of Zarya so that way you get the effectiveness of, like, the boop, that is going to help you get away, as well as your other ability, like your one where you ride the wave to get out. Instead, you don't really use it there, and that's where I mean, like, but right now a lot of it's kind of like mismanagement of cooldowns. It feels like you kind of just use them to use them. So I'm going to mention that, from time to time, because you said that you don't apply some of that stuff. One of the easiest ways for me to at least try to help with that is to kind of be like, hey, like, look at, you're doing this. This is something you need to improve on. And then maybe that will be a little bit more helpful in that scenario. Crossing over with your teammates. Do not wave this yet. Yep, see, I knew you were going to wave it, right? Because your reaction is, my teammate is slept. I now need to use my wave. See? I called that before you were even going to do that, right? I called that before you were going to do that. You immediately go for the wave. Again, you need to be careful of using that like you are. Now you don't even have it in a situation where you could have it to help heal back. This is where Wuyang ultimate would have come into play on like the Genji. Thankfully, your Genji does get a kill. Wave 1. Okay. You're missing your wave, by the way. It's like you think it's like the size of the map. You got to aim it towards your teammates. Now I've watched you miss your wave a couple times. So, yeah, you have an issue with cooldowns where you're using them in like random spots. Like even there, what you should have done if you were going to actually use your wave there when they pop their ability was get everybody on your left side wave there, so that way the healing's easy, and then anybody peels back. Instead, you just kind of do it in the middle of the open and get nobody with it. So, yep. Okay, gonna watch you here as you back up a little bit. Get more into you too. Spamming in. Using your ability again. See, like even there, like you don't need to use your wave. Position in here. Okay, so in this situation, I want you to think about. Yep, your wrist went right up the map. Love to see that. Yep, you missed your wave again. Yeah, cooldown usage. Gotta really improve on this. One thing I always say with Wuyang positioning, to give you an idea, and I don't know if this will help or not, but the way that you want to position as like an Ayari or a Zenyatta is how you almost want to play Wuyang. You don't want to find yourself up front and center now, and you especially don't want to find yourself up in front center now. There you go, you're doing it again. Now I know you're trying to keep yourself alive there, but you need to think about positioning. You're in a spot where they're not going to be able to kill you because you can hide behind the wall. Instead, you use your ability and you spam it. That's a bit of a problem. So, I want to point out, you have 225 HP. You don't need to be next to people during Wuyang Ultimate. You have a decent enough range when you go for your heal. And this character is not meant to be like a full pocket of tank and just sit there with your tank. A lot of what you could do is like, let me give you an example of positioning. Is this good positioning? No. You're right next to your Orisa, right? Straight up. It's not going to be good position. You wouldn't want to be here with any of the supports. Why are you there with Wuyang? So, I want you to keep seeing this. You start to trend towards going towards your teammate and like standing right with them. I want you to think about more of like further back and be unkillable. What makes it really hard for me to deal with a Wuyang when I'm playing ranked is a Wuyang who is not only positioned back, but is doing some good spam damage, right? So if a Wuyang's here and I'm playing tank, yeah, like Zenyatta or Ayari, exactly. If I'm playing tank, right, I'm like, I can't kill a Wuyang back here, right? It's hard to do unless you get like sniped by somebody. But when you're playing up here, it's way easier to do it. Like, I mean, this Reaper all might even get value because you don't have your cooldown. I want you to also notice, like, You see how quickly you disengaged right there? Good job using your abilities to survive the ultimate. Do you see when you disengaged here, how far back you can go? Now imagine when you're playing here in a already safe spot. Do you understand this? Like imagine already being in a super safe spot right here, right? And then you can back up all the way to here. Like they can't kill you. So the point I'm making is the better your position ends up being with Wuyang, the much better you're going to play, right? But if you keep playing up here, you're not always going to be able to get away with a play like this and end up here because you don't have as much disengage spots. So you want to start off in good spots. You lean towards getting behind your tank like you're playing with a Reinhardt. You want to be careful of that. You said with Wuyang Mercier. Yeah, I mean, it could definitely not be the easiest for tanks. Yep, there you go again. I don't know. I got to come up with a way to, like, teach more on, like, the Wuyang wave. But, like, I just want you to think about if you were to use Honor Grenade on cooldown in front of you every single time, that's basically what you... Again, you see how you're using this, like, ability like it's a cooldown that you just spam. I've watched you do it all the time, and when you actually need it, you don't need it. Like, you won't have it, I mean. So you just end up using it randomly. The amount of time they're at, like, 95% HP and you just use it to use it is very high. Did you even get the perk that's like the... No, you didn't, right? So there's a perk that would come back to you, too. You didn't even get that perk. So, like, it's not even like you're using the wave to have, like, that go in and then go back. Right? There you go. This was probably the first time, right? First time, maybe second time I've seen you use that ability correctly. Why was that ability used correctly in that situation? You had somebody going for you. You then pop the ability when you were low as a disengagement tool. It slightly interrupts the Mauga from being able to make a play, and then you can disengage and survive. That's how you want to use the ability, right? You're using it as a survivability tool in a way of saying, hey, I'm not going to give you a free kill. They can't kill you. You're almost back to full HP because when you do that, it gives you the extra increased heal, which helps the Mercy keep you alive, and you're good to go. Now you want to give Wuyang ult. Perfect usage of Wuyang ultimate there, right? You have a Genji going in. This is where you can get momentum. That's a great usage of it, right? Because you're keeping that momentum rolling. Now your positioning's good. Now you stay here. That's it. Don't go up any further. You can go even further back. Just stay here. Angle one of the doorways. I would recommend spamming the left doorway. I find players tend to go for this one, and your teammates can take care of the right door. Just spam a doorway now. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Don't have to get too aggressive. Don't have to overdo it. Just spam a doorway. Spam a doorway. Spam a doorway. Spam a doorway. Okay. I want to point out, I know your teammates capped that, but why are you not spamming a doorway? Wuyang damage does so much damage, even with a slight adjustment to like the splash comparison to like the direct hits. You need to be spamming a doorway there. So a lot of what happened in that first half, while we kind of load into this next half here, is your cooldown usage needs a lot of work. And I want you to remember what I'm saying. Your Wuyang wave is not meant to be used on cooldown. It's a very effective ability that you don't want to waste the ability on. Now, this one's a little bit more of an intense comparison, but like Bap's lamp, would you throw your lamp down just to throw your lamp down? No. The wave is kind of that in-between of that, between lamp and Honor Grenade, where like you want to have that decision-making. So you have to be careful of that. And I think that's a lot of what you need to do. Also, you mentioned going for like cool Wuyang shots. There is way more opportunity for damage on Wuyang. I think you're going more into the, I'm going to heal my teammate, rather than I'm going to do damage and then heal my teammates when they need it, right? When you play Zen, you put a Zen orb on somebody and then you start to spam damage, right? You can't heal them during that. Wuyang, while you have a little bit of that like connected beam, you don't need to use it all the time. It's not like meant for that type of playstyle. It's meant for like, okay, my Reaper's taking a little bit of damage, let me keep him healed. Okay, my tank's taking a little bit of poke damage, I'll get him healed up here and occasionally do it. Not like, I'm gonna sit at my tank and pocket them like I'm playing Ana. Anyway, again, just something I noticed, but we'll see how this goes into the next half here. All right? Okay, here we go. Positioning. Think about it. You could be right here, no one can see you, you can still heal your teammates, for the most part. Obviously, if they get a little bit too aggressive, that's on them. You can spam the choke here, right, without seeing anybody, and you're in a safe spot here, and then if they go aggressive to you, you can disengage, see? With your cooldowns, right? You have the ability to disengage out, right? Couple disengage spots that can be worthy here if they end up going around, say they get map control, as Wuyang, you could disengage to here. This one isn't my most suggested one, but it's a viable possibility if you have a pick. You can also go into here if you want to. Some Wuyangs can actually control this area very well. I do know they're running the Junkrat, so you lose a little bit of that value, but you can also just go here, and if you really want to have some fun, you could play here and spam your Wuyang or damage through here. Obviously, that would take a little bit of practice, but you could also do that. Do you see what I'm saying, where like there's a lot of spots you don't even need to be seen by the other team, But instead, you choose to stand in the middle of the open to fall over to the other team. Now your Mercy is forced to play res. Now you pop, and again, you pop that cooldown like it's like something you needed right there. No, not yet. Not yet. Now remember, angle yourself away from their team and spam. You don't even need to see them there. Spam. Spam. If you're Orisa, you already used all your resource. Spam. I'm okay with that wave because your Reaper was low. Again, it looks a little bit goofy there. There you go. You're going for spam damage, but okay. Listen, I love the idea of going for these like really cool like trick shots or shots on a Pharah, but again, your spam damage at choke. Let me kind of give you an equivalent here. You're playing Junkrat and you go, you know what? I have two options. I can spam the choke or I'm going to go for these really cool shots on Pharah across the map. See what I'm saying? Same concept here. You're missing out on so much ability to kind of spam and like isolate their team away. Also, that would have been a great opportunity to have the wave there against the Roadhog. The Roadhog can get slightly disrupted there by your wave. You can use it to maybe help your Mercy. Instead, you use it on your Orisa randomly there. You don't have it, and then you fall over. This is all positioning and cooldown usage, is why I talk about it so much. Because this is something that's very easily fixable, and I'm bringing it up a lot because you said that you keep not applying it to your game, so hopefully this will help you remember this stuff when you need to apply it. I don't mind the Ana swap here. There's a Roadhog, pretty straightforward. Also, this can help maybe keep your tank alive. Your tank is being a little bit taking poke damage, so this is an adjustment for not only the Hog, but also for the way that your tank's playing. Okay? So we'll see. And you now also have a Nano Blade. Again, Wuyang Blade's still fine, so yeah. Yeah, well, you would spam the choke in general. That's what you want to do. You spam the choke. Like, if I'm playing against a Junkrat and the Junkrat gives me free reign walking through a doorway, it's pretty nice. There's some, now don't get me wrong, there's some good Junkrat connoisseurs who like go for like 1v1 flanks and just like destroy you, but, you know. Still waiting here? Alright. Okay, I want to get you out of a habit here. This is going to help you a ton. Positioning. I need to point this out to you. You can't be just sitting here, like just sitting here, like next to your tank like this when you play Ana. If you ever watch me play Ana, and again, I definitely opt for more safe positioning when I play Ana, and you can watch even like, you know, Ana's way better than me. Positioning is so key to this. And one thing that you'll very rarely find, and again, I'm sure I'll do this sometimes because sometimes I just like, I don't know, maybe I just lose patience. And I get too aggressive, but like, you can be here and do the exact same thing. You're like, yeah, but what if my teammates are over here? That's their problem at that point. So like, you know, be here if possible. Let your teammates know this is where your line of sight is. And again, I want to show you what I mean by this. The reason why you play here instead of even right here is that when they turn the corner, you have to back up all the way here now. Now you have to worry about taking random damage, right? Now you need to worry about like this and that and all these random things, right? But in reality, if you play in here, you can then back up to here, right? See, you have all these backup spots. You can keep backing up and you can play safe, and as long as your teammates rotate. Again, this is a little bit advanced in that sense. Like, I don't expect your teammates to rotate this perfectly, but I want to show to you that you should stop trying to basically like stand right next to your tank and do things like this. Okay, great. You Ana-grenaded So you Ana-grenade the Hog. Wonderful. Who's following up on that? Nobody. So again, and there you go. You fall over to a Junkrat. Both you and your Mercy are kind of out of position there, and a Junkrat just kills you both with mines. Yep, play back now. You don't have to get out. This is fine. Yes, right here is fine. Don't need to get too more aggressive here. That's a sleep dart. That's a good grenade. Won't be able to nano your Genji right now. I would actually nano your Genji if I would nano your Genji. Yeah, I would almost set this play up by, yep. There you go. A little bit later than nano, but it's fine. It worked out. Junkrat trap. I can't comment on that. I walk into him all the time. So,
I see you.
Is nano when someone to save him an acceptable thing to do? In that situation, I would say yes. Saving your teammate with nano can be helpful. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the best way to put it. The reason why I wanted the Genji to be nano there, now, again, positioning. Why are you up here? You're still, okay, I'm going to show you this very quickly because I'm going to keep bringing this up. I just want you to see this, okay? I'm a Zenyatta over here. I want you to see this. You ready? Actually, let's go from the Zenyatta's point of view. Okay, let's watch the Zenyatta on the other team now. How easy of a kill is that? Why are you all the way up there? Your teammates are here. Look where you can be. No one on their team should be able to see you unless they take this angle. But then if they take this angle, you can back up a little bit further. This is just not what you want to see. It's just a free kill. So I want you to remember that next time is like, set yourself up in good spots to where your teammates can play a little bit slightly aggro, but you can also be in a good spot to fall back. That was just a free kill for their Zen. You just gave them a free kill.
Systems on
Okay.
optimal levels.
Set yourself up in a spot. Yep, okay. Okay. I see you recognizing the mistake there of that angle. Now you don't have to worry about it because your teammate took care of that angle. So you can be a little bit more aggressive. Use the cart as your cover. Do not go too aggro. Yep. Okay. You're pushing up with the pace of your team. You're at a spot that's still safe. You looked away from your team. Such a unique concept here. Because there's an Echo that could be being pocketed in the back left, but there's a Sigma getting healed. But I think the Echo would benefit from that, and then the Ana can take care of the Sigma. Okay. Went to a safe spot. Don't be afraid to nano someone. I'm okay with it. Listen, I'm okay with that nano for one reason. I don't even know what's going on at that point. I tried to lock in there like I'm playing like Ana in that situation, and like that kill feed wasn't enough information to not use that nano there. Again, I could be maybe underestimating that one, but I do think that was a situation where using it in the way that you did was totally fine, in my opinion. Because there wasn't enough info there to be like, okay, don't use nano. Right? Genji's only at 80%, so you've been waiting a while. So, that was more of like a team effort play right there. Because like your Sigma gets a little bit too aggro. You don't look at them for heals as much. Then the Mercy goes in for a res and then falls over. Oh, I was gonna talk about this. It's funny because I was thinking about this too. Okay, so this is a mistake I've been making on Ana recently whenever I play support, and it's something I'm trying to focus on. Ended up here. So there's a tendency to end up here if you end up rotating up here. I want you to focus on always rotating out this way rather than this way. Now, a little bit of a side note to this, if your teammates are kind of working together, and what I mean by that is like, let's say your teammates are working together to like take this side of the map, totally fine, right? Say that your Echo's like, hey, Ana, can you come with me? Different story. But try to always rotate this way. I've had a few times recently when I'm playing ranked, and I end up here, and I have to kind of cross over here. So at first, this positioning seems great, right? You're like, okay, I'm in a good spot. But the problem is that eventually, your teammates are going to lose this map control, right? And like, you're going to have to go all the way across like this. If you're here and you always opt to rotate this way, you're going to end up in a spot where you can rotate endlessly all the way to back here. So I've done this. It's something I'm working on too. And it's a good reminder. So just be careful of this spot right here specifically. Okay. And when you rotate. I do want to note there will be times you end up here, but that's something you're going to have to make in like real time rather than like always do this. But I do think that the majority of the time rotate that way and you'll have a much better experience. Something I've been learning myself recently. So you're going to lose the point. Still a solid second point hold, but a lot you can clean up on. And that's why I'm trying to show you a lot of this, because you did mention that you understand a lot of things, but you need to like kind of know them. So I'm trying to show you as many examples as I can without also overdoing it. So, yep. Yeah, your positioning doesn't prioritize corners. You prioritize middle of the open. And like they got Ana grenade, you probably don't even have to use there, because if you play it like exactly like this, again, if you play it like this, one, you can do pop shots here if you ever need to. Two, you have a mini health pack right here. Three, if you're from this point of view, it's really hard for the other team to follow up. So stop. You start to gravitate towards the middle as the team fight goes on. Play corners. I'm telling you, it will become so much easier for you on Ana, and you'll have so many more cooldowns. Yep, even if you're going to push up here, I want you to prioritize playing a corner. Not prioritize ending up in the middle of the open. You notice how you start to trend to the middle of the open? You got to fix that. Yeah, well, didn't get anybody. Don't have to use Ana grenade. Now, by the way, one thing I want to point out to you. You can Ana grenade that. That's fine. I actually surprised that miss. A lot of your Ana grenades, from what I've seen, you aren't just throwing your Ana grenade randomly. You ever notice that? You're not just throwing it at them every single time it's up. On Wuyang, you were doing the equivalent of that, of just throwing honor grenade every single team fight. Do you see what I mean? I like aggressive honor grenades too, but it's not like you're just launching it every team fight. Unless I'm just misremembering, you have to honor grenade that one. Okay, nano somebody here. Nano Genji, just Nano Genji, Nano Genji, Nano Genji, Nano Genji, Nano Genji, Nano Genji. Let's get that Nano going on the Genji. There you go. You needed to do that even sooner. I'm telling you right now, sometimes the Genji could be waiting on your Nano and you don't even know it. So I just wanted to point out to you. A good honor grenade, prioritize positioning, prioritize positioning. This is not good positioning because you're in the middle of the open. Again, you're trending towards moving this way into the middle of the map rather than going into safety. So that's a situation where I think you can still survive that. The BAP can be out of position and then you win the team fight. But you become a free kill in those scenarios. So they recognize this and then go for kills on you. Thankfully, your team had a good attack, so you're not going to run into any issues here specifically, which will be really nice to have. You won't run into the issue of like you're going to lose the game, but I do think you can fix that. So, yep. When I'm playing, if I have really good spots and my rotations are solid, I have less to think about. The more that you have to think about, the more likely your aim is going to be worse because you're worrying about 6 or 7 different things. But if you prioritize playing corners, playing spots, your aim is just so much better because you're focusing on like one thing. Like, hey, I'm just going to heal my teammate. Hey, I'm just going to do some pop shots. But when you have like, oh, I have to dodge this damage, that damage. I'm in the middle of the open. Now I need to run. Now I need to throw an honor grenade off the wall. Now I need to run this way. I need to do like a spin move this way. I need to hit a 6 sleep. You see what I'm saying? Like you have so many things, right? That get added up into that situation. So I want you to like prioritize not doing that as much. So, all right. Not bad right there. So you need to get this win. Slowly just, yep. Good. You didn't run right through the choke. There's a Junkrat trap. I did see that. Good job. Even if you have a numbers advantage, prioritize positioning. You're in the middle of the open. You're in the middle of the open. Still in the middle of the open. Thankfully, you're going to win this game probably because they can't really do anything. But yeah, this is very fixable. Okay, very fixable. I tried to give you a lot of examples of things that you were doing wrong, but if you can work on that cooldown usage and you just start to prioritize where you position yourself in a team fight in your rotations, you're going to be in a good spot. It's a lot of information, but I try to give you some really good examples there. So hopefully it ends up being helpful and you're able to improve off of that, but I do think you have a lot you can work on there. So hopefully you can take this and then apply it and see if you see improvements. So again, cooldown usage, positioning. I'm telling you, you'll see it'll be a night and day difference. So you got this. Keep it up. All right, you got this. If you want to submit your own Spectating, my Discord is where you do that. If you make sure to like the video, leave a comment, all of it helps. If you want to submit your own, my Discord, like I said, I just said that, but I'm just on that thing where I just lost my outro. If you want to watch more of these, you'll see something pop up. A lot of great videos. And with that being said, hope you all have an amazing day/night.